Warren Buffett once said, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. Work until you die? Well, we're definitely not doing that. And that is why I've created Life of Dividends. And this is our dividend portfolio update for March 4th, 2025. So let's go and I'll show you what's new with the portfolio and update you on some changes that I've made. So as you can see here, we have a little bit of a change in our investing balance. Looking at the previous video from the trading week of February 21st, 2025, we had a balance of $12,482.93. And as of this morning, when I took the screenshot of the portfolio, we had a balance of $12,517.23. And also, as you can see there, our buying power went from a margin call warning to significantly increasing to over $5,000, and we're going to get into that here shortly, so stay tuned. Over the past week or so, I'm sure everybody is aware that the stock market has taken a decline in value, as well as pretty much most people's portfolios, as when the stock market goes down, your investments tend to go down as well. So I thought I'd take the time to clean up my portfolio and get back to my original concept of why I created Life of Dividends and why I created a additional stream of income that I'm going to continue to develop over time. But I wanted to clean up the portfolio and get back to just investing in one single dividend income ETF, which is MISTY, or MSTY as people know it as. And I currently have 926 shares of MISTY at an average cost of $27.85. Now, this is a work in progress because my first goal is to get to 1,000 shares. That's right, 1,000 shares. And that is building a foundation from which we can establish and erect this house of dividends. Before we can put up walls and a roof, we must first have a foundation. So MSTY or MISTY will be the foundation by which this house of dividends begins to build itself. And I will focus on completing one goal at a time, which is 1,000 shares of MISTY. And then I will move on to the other funds, such as NVIDIA or Tesla, and even creating a weekly dividend payer, looking at those. I know I've had them in the past, but again, I wanted to clean up the portfolio. And I'm currently thinking about maybe running that side by side with MISTY, having one monthly and one weekly payout. So I'm still thinking that over, but for right now, I just want to focus on meeting my goal for MISTY, and then we'll move on with being able to build out one additional monthly payer at a time. That way we can focus all of our capital into achieving our share count goal much faster, instead of trying to spread that out over multiple different funds. That is my idea. So we're going to get back to doing that accordingly. And then jumping into a couple different things from there. All right, so now let's jump into this thing called margin. And margin, from what I can understand and see and hear, there really isn't a blueprint for using margin. I gather from some of the folks that I've listened to in various Discords and YouTube videos, pretty much everybody kind of uses it at their own discretion. But from now on, Life of Dividends has made the decision for us, we are no longer going to use margin, so which is another reason we've sold off our other positions to get back our margin buying power. And we are merely going to let our margin be an emergency account. Meaning if there's something significant that's going to impact the stock market or a fund, and either it's going to go up or go down, then we can utilize margin to, one, either buy more shares and capitalize on the market going up, or two, we can potentially buy puts to protect ourselves or protect our downside in the event of any catastrophic news or information that comes out that's going to impact our funds in any negative way. But for the most part, it's my understanding, and I feel more comfortable with not using margin or leaving margin till such a time when I can understand how to utilize option trading to benefit growing my portfolio in a greater manner. So as you see here, we've got now our buying power is $5,123, and our margin status is we are at a low risk. I believe the margin that I'm still currently using and am going to have to pay off, and I should be able to do that, I want to say by the end of I would say by the end of March, if not the middle of April, we should be all out of margin. And I'm going to utilize the thinking that my father once told me: if you can't pay cash for it, you don't need it. So we don't need this. It just means we're going to have to grow this in a slower time frame instead of using the buying power of margin, or what some call other people's money, to take advantage of dividends and things of that nature. But there's also a significant risk that's associated with that, in losing funds or watching your buying power or your margin be depleted. So with that, again, we're just going to pay this off and look at our margin as an emergency fund. And of course, once we learn to do option trading, then potentially using the margin for option trading. But if we can't pay cash to purchase shares, then we don't need those shares. But no worries, we've got plenty incoming that we can utilize to buy those shares and meet our goals for each fund share. And as mentioned, with Misty, we're at 926 shares. I think after today we'll be at 927, because I've also I'm also DCAing daily and buying one share a day. So that's going to build out our share count and get us to our goal, as well as the money that I put into purchasing my shares at the end of the month. Of course, after all the bills are paid and we can see what we have available to invest accordingly. But from what I see right now, using margin in a market that is bearish kind of makes me wish I never start down this path of using margin again, because there is no blueprint. So we're going to employ some old school thinking of, if you can't pay for it cash, then you don't need it. So that's where we're going to leave the margin game. Now, with closing out the month of February, we did not make our goal. I believe I said 2,500 to get to that 2,500 level. As you can see here, we got our two remaining dividends from YMAX, which was $1.33, and NVIDIA, which was $40.30, rounding out the month of February with a total dividend payment of $1,953.19. So now that we have removed YMAX and NVIDIA from the portfolio, we are thoroughly looking forward to the Misty dividend, which I believe declares on March 12th, which is next week, and seeing whatever they declare and multiplying that by 1,000 shares of Misty. And so excited for that to happen. But in the meantime and in between time, we'll be watching the market and seeing what it does and how it impacts our investing moving forward. All right, so in wrapping up our update for March 4th, 2025 for the portfolio for life of dividends, that is it for this update or this episode. I look forward to doing another video, I would say soon after Misty declares on March 12th. So look forward to talking to you all then.